All right, hello grade 10s. This is the last lesson for this week, the third lesson of our new unit. I am just opening up, or trying to open up, the solutions to the thing you did yesterday. Let's see here, and here they are. Okay, so on the left we have our standard form equations, and on the right we have our factored form. Today we are going to spend the period or the time going from factored form into standard form. So if you figured out the patterns in here yesterday, you're good to go. If you didn't figure out the patterns from yesterday, you're also good to go, because today I'm going to teach you how to do this from scratch. So if you never saw the patterns, you're totally okay. All right. So let's try the first few questions. So this is kind of like an FFM thing. So feel free to pause and try this out for yourself. So you can pause now and try that if you like. Okay, so you might actually notice that this equation is right here. Okay, remember our R and our S are -1 and -3. But if we just look from here over to standard form, you might start to see some patterns. You might notice that this 1 and 3, if you multiply them, give you 3. And if you add them, it gives you 4. So in this case, the answer is y equals x squared plus 4x plus 3. Okay. Without looking at the stuff from yesterday, try to do this one. So pause it and try it. There's the answer. Again, pause, try this one. And if you haven't gotten any of these right, that is totally okay. I haven't shown you how to do it yet. Once I do today, if then you can't get them, then I think we might have a bit of a problem, and then you'll have to check in. Okay, pause, try this one. There it is. And that's it. Okay, so that's the intro. Now I'm going to give you the lesson. Honestly, this will be like a few minutes, and then we'll be done. So we can expand from factored form to standard form by using what is called FOIL. Now, each of these letters represents a word. So this is first. This is outside. This, as you might guess, is inside. And if you look at the other words, you can probably guess that this means last. So I have a nice little note for you, and it's right here. But rather than go through that note, that'll be there for people who want to read it if they're having some extra trouble. Instead, I'm going to do a few questions with you. And first, I'm just going to double check to see what you have in terms of your handout for today. And I don't happen to see it there. There it is. Okay, so your note is going to look like this. So here's the first page that I'm skipping over, and then you have a bunch of practice here. So these questions that I'm doing aren't going to be on your sheet. This is just the lesson. So if you want to write down on paper, or you can just watch. All right, so I'm going to write y equals on the next line because it's going to be the same thing. So first, I do the f in FOIL, and I multiply the first term in each set of brackets. And I often draw this cool little line here, okay? I make it a little arrow. X times x. Now you might remember the first lesson of this week, super easy. X times x was x squared. So that's why we did that. Okay, I'm going to write this y equals in black. I'm just going to color code things and you'll see why. Now we're going to do the O. We're going to multiply the outside terms. So if you look at this thing, these brackets here, you can imagine the outsides are here and over here. So we do x times -4. Okay, so x times -4, or you can imagine this is 1x times -4. So let's multiply the numbers. 1 times -4 is -4. And x times no other x is just going to be x. Next we do I, the inside. So that's the inside here, like the inside track. And we do positive 3 times x, or positive 3 times 1x, and we get plus 3x. And finally, we do the last terms. So the last term in here is plus 3, and the last term in here is minus 4. So positive 3 times negative 4 on your calculator will give you this. We've done the FOIL. Okay, I never drew my little line here, but here it is. We've done our FOIL. Now what we're going to do is we're going to collect any like terms. So we have an x squared. We don't have any others. So that's going to stay as x squared. And then we have negative 4x plus 3x. Because they're both x's, we can add them together. And we get negative 4 plus 3 is minus 1. So this is x squared minus 1x. And then we have the minus 12 at the end. And that is it. And if you ever want to check your answers with this stuff, you can go to Desmos, and you can type the original equation, y equals x plus 3, x minus 4. And then you can type your new equation, y equals x squared minus 1x minus 12. And if you did it correctly, if you turn on and off the second one, it should lie right on top. And that means that both of those parabolas are the same. Okay, so that's the same one I just did. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the numbers here. Let's say minus 5, and let's do plus 7. All right, so you might need a calculator for this. I would like you to try this, pause it, and then unpause it. Okay? So please go ahead and do that. All right, here we go. First, I do the first. So x times x is x squared. Then I do the outside. Or first I do x times this, x times that, and then I do the negative 5 times each one. X times 7 is plus 7x. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And negative 5 times 7 is negative 35. Now here's a cool thing. If you get the equation out of there, you get this cool little kind of moon-looking thing. Very mathy symbol. I've always said that if I ever get a tattoo, it will be this, because I think it looks pretty sweet. But I'm too chicken, so I probably won't. Okay, now to finish this off, we collect our like terms, and basically that always just means add the two middle terms. So we get x squared plus 2x minus 35. And that is your answer. Whoa. Okay, there we go. Oh man, that stuff was attached together in a very unfortunate way. I'm not even sure how that happened. Okay, so again, at the end we just added these two middle terms, and there is your answer. Okay, not a ton of practice today. I got 10 questions here that I want you to expand. I'm going to do, I'll just pick 2 of them to do with you. And then we'll go from there. Okay? So let's do this one. Okay, so y equals, so first x times x, x squared, outside plus 4x, inside minus 8x, last minus 32. And then I add the two middle terms, and I get x squared minus 4x minus 32. And if you look from the patterns from yesterday, if you multiply negative 8 and 4, you get negative 32. If you do negative 8 plus 4, you're going to get negative 4. So some of you are going to notice that pattern right away. All right, I'm going to do one last one here, and it's going to be this one, x plus 2, x minus 2. Feel free to pause, try it, and then unpause. Okay, hopefully you tried it. So first, x times x is x squared. Then the outside, I get minus 2x. And then the inside, plus 2x. And then the last, 2 times negative 2 is minus 4. I add the two middle terms, negative 2 plus 2. Oh, well that's 0. So I could write x squared plus 0x minus 4, but 0x is nothing, so I can actually get rid of that. And I could just say y equals x squared minus 4. This is a special case, so don't worry if that one was a little bit confusing. I just wanted to make sure I did that one with you. Okay, so your homework for the rest of this lesson and until next week is going to be the remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. Is that right? Yeah, there were 8, and I did 2. So you've got these 6 questions, and then I'm going to post a little Google quiz for you to do as well. Okay? And just so you know, when I ask you to do answers, so let's say you were writing this in Google Forms, you could write x squared. See that little thing? That's shift 6 on your keyboard. And then I'd write minus 4x minus 32. Now you can put spaces, so you can put like a space here, there, 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 and there, and make it look a little bit nicer. There's also an equation thing. Some of you will have a little light blue button that you can push, and then you can type the equation, and it'll actually look like this with the exponent. So whatever works for you. I go through and look at all your answers anyway, so even if they don't match up with the answer I gave, you could still get full marks if you wrote it a bit differently. Like if you didn't have a space, let's say you forgot the space here, right? That's still correct, and I'm going to figure that out. Okay? All right, folks, best of luck. Get in touch with me if you have any questions.